I have played the beta of the upcoming free-to-play MMORPG Sword of Justice over the last couple of days. And I found a few things that some of you might not be too happy about, and spoiler, it has to do with the monetization. God, I hate this topic. Verflucht seist du, Kapitalismus! So, in today's video, I'm going to give you a first honest review of the game, going over the different sections, asking what's good about the game, what's not so good about the game, and what's the reason you still haven't subscribed to this channel. I'm watching you. And let me tell you, this game has problems. Some of which might want you to skip the game, but you will be able to tell after this video, so just keep watching. Let's jump right in. Before we go into the different sections and summarize the good and the bad stuff about the game at the end of the video, let me just quickly introduce you to what is Sword of Justice. So, Sword of Justice is an upcoming MMORPG by NetEase Games with a semi-tap targeting action combat system that plays in a wuxia world. To be precise, the game is already released in China and actually one of the most successful games, and now coming to global. And Sword of Justice actually has an interesting story, because the game originally started as Justice Online, a massive PC MMORPG from NetEase that was meant to launch globally years ago. However, despite its popularity in China, the worldwide release never happened. That is because NetEase released a mobile version of the game called Sword of Justice, which quickly gained success thanks to major changes. The biggest one was that the developer stripped out a lot of the pay-to-win elements that held the PC version back. And the players of Justice Online loved these changes to the mobile game, and the game took off, and most of the PC players from Justice Online switched to the mobile game instead. Because of that success, NetEase has made a big decision. The focus will now be on Sword of Justice instead of the global release for Justice Online, so they are bringing this game to global instead. Coming with its own PC client, PC controls, upgraded graphics with Unreal Engine, and a redesigned UI made specifically for PC players. Technically. Even though there is combat in Sword of Justice, the game as an MMORPG lays a focus on the social and sandbox aspects of the game. And before some of you ask this question, it comes close to Age of Wushu, but it still misses the mark. You're welcome. While the game offers PvE content with stories, side quests, dungeons, bosses, and more, it also offers different PvP game modes, a guild and a kinship system, which are two different things, an identity system with multiple jobs and roles in the social environment, like playing music or becoming a detective, dancing, fishing, and way more. And it also offers a housing and a farming system. Lots of character customization with the focus on giving you the opportunity to create your very own character, and even a system that allows you to talk to AI-powered NPCs, befriend them, and technically go on adventures with them. And that is just a portion of what the game has to offer. So in order to review the game and let you know what you can expect from it, I will split the video into different sections, giving you more feedback on the good and the bad stuff, and I'm going to summarize everything at the end of the video. And one of these sections is going to be the monetization. So stay tuned. Let's start with the graphics, world design, and animations of the game. And even though the game comes from a mobile-first focus and was just recently upgraded to Unreal Engine and to a PC client, I first looked at the game and was like,
that's pretty good.
Of course, it does not compete with the level of detail of Where Winds Meet, but it is absolutely above standard for a mobile game coming to PC. And some of the details are actually insane, like seeing the raindrops rolling down the face of your character if you zoom in. It looks really good, like really, really good. Other details, however, like the texture of this roof, are definitely on a mobile level, but you will get high quality visuals for the most parts of the game, except a few exceptions, except a few exceptions. Jesus. Beyond that, most of the animations, especially in combat or while using the wuxia typical traversal mechanics, look and feel very good. And the game also has a dynamic weather system coming with some great visuals, and I truly like the idea behind that. And you can even check the current weather in different areas, so if you are just feeling like you want to experience a snowstorm, you can just go into an area that just has a snowstorm running, which is pretty cool. When it comes to world design, the game does not have an open world. Instead, you have different instances, which are mostly cities and smaller villages that you can just quick travel to over the world map, and that is basically it. You could say that this limitation is due to the game being a mobile game, but Where Winds Meet has a massive open world without loading screens too, and it is a game available on mobile as well, so that is not a reason. But I'm honestly burned out by open world games anyway, so I don't really mind. Because what I can say is that these areas look amazing, very diverse, and representing the wuxia setting very well. And I had a great time exploring them, even though they are instanced, but they are pretty big though, so everything fine so far. Part of the reason why exploration was fun in this game is the traversal system, especially the air walking ability being even more flexible than what we get from Where Winds Meet. And I really love that ability. Like, I really did. That and the skill that lets you teleport to certain walls or roofs, technically wherever you want to teleport to, which I gotta say, I love that. And I really wish that these elements were in Where Winds Meet, but they are not. In Germany, we say, das Leben ist kein Wunschkonzert. However, something that does not look so good is the UI and the technical port of the game to PC. While the game runs absolutely smooth on a mobile device and is clearly made for it, I don't feel like they have put the same amount of work in the PC port that they have put into the visual upgrade. Because as far as I can tell, the PC UI is almost unchanged. Like, seriously, this is not a PC UI. I mean, come on. Like, this needs to be changed. This needs to be removed. Everything needs to be smaller. And even though the graphics are great, it clearly makes me feel like I am playing a mobile game on a PC, just because of the UI. Now, you can activate action camera in the settings to be able to move the camera with the mouse, making it feel more like a PC game, but that comes with multiple issues where you clearly realize that this is not the original intended way to play the game. For example, if you want to talk to that moving NPC, I first have to activate my mouse to click on him. However, once I make a single step with my character, my mouse deactivates again. Another example is that farming feature where I have no keybinds for the action that I have to perform, meaning that I have to walk to each tile, activate the mouse, click on the button, deactivate the mouse to walk to the next tile. And the game is just filled with these kinds of problems, which is unfortunate, but we are in a beta state, so these things might be fixed until the PC release, but taking into consideration that the UI is still completely not PC focused, I have doubts. When it comes to the performance of the game though, the game ran smooth both on mobile and PC, so there's nothing that I could criticize here. A very unique function of the game that NetEase is very proud of is the option to befriend AI NPCs. And I thought this is supposed to be a solution for solo players to, well, not have to make friends. So if you want to stay lonely or you just hate talking to people, like real people, this game is perfect for you. That is, if this function would work properly. I have tried to befriend AI NPCs for a while, but I just simply couldn't do it. The first issue was that there is a time limit on the conversation, which is kind of weird because I can just literally go to the person again and talk to it again, so it doesn't make any sense. On another note, the English speaking capabilities of these AI NPCs, well, though I may not be, I am a warrior. I have a dream to become one someday. Or my favorite, this is where here. What city is it? This is either a Shakespeare level of speaking, which I am not capable of, or there's just something going on with the translation. But overall, I had no idea how to really befriend AI NPCs to do something with them, honestly. I tried. I mean, I'm not good at making friends anyway, but isn't that the reason why this function even exists? Well, after some trying, I somehow got into a fight with the AI NPC. And even though he said that he's not a warrior and just a newspaper guy, he literally mopped the floor with me. So when I went into a dungeon though, I got some random AI companions that I could even give some simple commands like follow, defend, or attack at will, which means I think I kind of misunderstood NetEase, and this is what they meant with AI NPCs fighting alongside you in dungeons. I thought that you befriend AI NPCs and they will come with you, but it seems that this is not the case. Or I just simply didn't get it. I don't know. Which is why we jump over to the next section. Combat, PvP, and skills. And oh boy, this was a huge disappointment for me. Because the combat is actually looking really dope and skill animations are clean, but it's being held back by multiple major issues and unused potential, and I could just bite my table thinking about it. The first big issue I have with the combat is so simple and easily makes the combat feel 20 times worse. And it's the fact that you cannot move while using any skill or even just auto attacks. Whenever you use anything in fight, you will be unable to move for at least a couple of seconds, making the combat feel clunky and slow as hell. Beyond that, there is no basic block or parry button. There are some skills with functions like that, but honestly, basic blocking should not be a skill. And lastly, there is no air combat, no jump attack, and no aerial combat at all, making the game ground-based entirely. Combining these three aspects makes the combat look good, but feel very slow and clunky, and I am not a fan, honestly. And that ultimately impacts the PvP as well, because you simply just try to be the first player hitting the other one, or you're trying to find an angle where everyone ignores you so you can spam your abilities, and that's basically it. Everyone is just standing around using his ability rotations, and it's just kind of odd. And beyond that, I didn't even get to test real PvP because I just kept being matched with bots for multiple hours. In 50 matches, I haven't found a single real player. If any developer is listening right now, please stop this bot madness. I mean, you could give people the option to activate it, but I would rather like to be in a queue and do overworld stuff and exploration and stuff like that while being matched. And I'm gladly waiting for a real match instead of playing against bots for hours. Seriously. Let's talk about classes and skills. Now, this is another section that makes me really sad. Really, really sad. So you pick a class that is inspired by a school. So no, there is no school sandbox system in the game like in Age of Wushu, sorry for that. And this class is giving you 10 available skills, but you need to actively choose 5 of them. But the game offers you a ton of other skills that you can learn, which is great, through exploration, other schools, special events, or gacha. Yep, there is a gacha system for skills in this game. But there are a lot of skills to learn, and you have exactly 2 slots to equip any of these skills to. 2 slots, 2 active slots. This game had the potential to give you the ability to create a very own unique martial arts set. I mean, Where Meat gives you the option to use 8 individual skills, and Age of Wushu has way more. But instead, they decided to only give you 2 active slots besides your 5 class skills. And I mean, come on, I sometimes ask myself, Warum? Before we go into the biggest issue, let's talk about the Sandbox. So, Sword of Justice is a game that focuses mostly on the sandbox aspect, and I can say that they have definitely done a great job with that. Before we go into detail though, if you think that I did a great job, you would help me a lot by liking the video activating the bell, and even leaving a comment, because the YouTube algorithm is hell at the moment. So it's very hard to grow. And you would do me a favor. I love you. As you guys know me, I love Age of Wushu, despite its problems and pay to win. And I really miss this game. And I'm always looking for a new successor. And to answer that question, Sword of Justice has a great sandbox, but it's not close to Age of Wushu. I would even say it has almost everything that you would want from a successor, except the school system and the cultivation system. So the two most important systems. However, the rest of the sandbox is really solid, and you clearly see that this was the main focus of the game. First of all, you really get to create your very own unique character and start a life in a wuxia world. You can choose an identity, which is basically a job system, allowing you to play music for other players, allowing you to dance or to work as a detective, and way more. However, what I do find odd is that you can change this identity every day, which is kind of weird. I wish I would just choose my identity and stick with it. Anyway, some of the other sandbox elements are the farming and the housing system, which actually is really deep and customizable. And I think you can create some crazy stuff with it, even with indoor decoration and stuff like that. Or you have the guild or kinship system, which are two different things. I can't really tell the difference, but there are two different things. And you have multiple events that you can participate in, and even an in-game newspaper talking about what's going on in the Sword of Justice world, like players dominating the PvP mode, for example, and stuff like that. And there's also offline interactions where other characters can meet your offline character that is doing something in the game world, like sitting on a roof playing music or whatever like that. And that is honestly just the surface of the game. I guess that below the surface there is way more stuff to explore in terms of sandbox. So overall, this is probably the strongest aspect of the game by far. Now let's talk about the biggest issue of the game and the elephant in the room, the monetization. So let me start by saying every news platform, every magazine and every blog is saying that the game will have no pay to win. And I even said that in a past video myself. And the reason for that is that NetEase actually even called the game the antidote to pay to win in their global announcement. And I trusted them because they have kept their word for Marvel Rivals and Naraka Blade Point. And it disappoints me because that is straight up not true. It's a lie. So first of all, the game is free to play. The in-game shop offers a huge amount of cosmetics like costumes, mounts, hair colors and hairstyles, upgraded skill animations, and far more. So far, so good. That is absolutely fine. Now, I have already mentioned the first problem, and I will do it again. Some of the skills in the game, and probably some of the best skills in the game that are still to come, are locked behind a gacha system. And I can't even hear this word anymore. I hate gacha. That is honestly even the worst thing that they could do. This is so dumb, putting skills behind a gacha system. Anyway, this is disappointment number one. Disappointment number two is that there is straight up pay to win in the game, and they're not even hiding it. Let me try to explain. There's a trade system in the game where players can sell stuff to other players. Like a lot of stuff. Endgame gear, cosmetics, crafting items, life items, and even willpower gems. These willpower gems, by the way, function like runes, adding power to your character by giving him stats. And you can upgrade these stones by basically destroying other stones. Now, the big problem with this trade system is that you can just straight up use the paid currency to transfer it to the trading currency and back. The good thing about this is that you can earn paid currency as a free-to-play player by just selling stuff. However, the bad thing about this is that someone could just dump money into the game, transfer this to trading coins, and buy endgame gear and willpower gems and crafting material with this to power himself up, which is quickly giving him an advantage that other players will have to grind for. And this is a problem in a game that has PvP and also ranking systems for the PvE content. And you know what this is called? Pay to win. If I'm not completely wrong about this system, this is straight up just pay to win in the same exact way how Shroud powered his character up in Throne at Liberty by dumping thousands of dollars into the game. But if I'm wrong about this system, please let me know in the comment section below, because I didn't use it. I didn't want to invest any money. And if I'm wrong, I will gladly admit that I'm wrong. But if it's true, this is not what I would call the antidote to pay to win. Sorry, NetEase. Alright, so let's quickly summarize all the good and the bad things about the game. Starting with the good stuff. Graphics, animations, and the game world are very solid, especially for a mobile to PC port. The game has great details, weather effects, and general animations. The sandbox elements of Sword of Justice, even though they are not on Age of Wushu level, are very deep and allow for a lot of immersion into the wuxia world. They have done a great job with the traversal in the game, which is a lot of fun and very well made. Beyond that, there are many skills to unlock for your character to become stronger and to create your very own skill set. The game runs smooth and without performance issues on both mobile and PC devices. And something that I didn't mention before, but it's really good, is that you get to pick a lot of good or bad options in dialogues, and the story is very solid so far. And now we jump over to the negative section. Combat in this game feels unnecessarily clunky due to the fact that you can't move during attacks or skills. And the skill system for the combat has a lot of unused potential, only giving you 2 active slots to equip skills that do not belong to your base school. And you can only use 5 skills of your base school, so honestly a lot of unused potential. The UI and controls for PC are simply bad at the moment and clearly made for mobile. Another problem is that, if I'm not wrong about it, the developers haven't told the truth about the monetization system, saying that the game is the antidote to pay to win. Because some of the strongest skills in the game are locked behind gacha, and the in-game market allows you to buy end-game gear and materials for real-life money from other players. Beyond that, the AI NPC system is having issues with translation, and I don't get its purpose so far. I tried using it, but I didn't really get its purpose. And lastly, there is also a stamina system in the game, limiting your daily activity, resulting in a stressful experience. You can't buy stamina with real money, but it will give some players a fear of missing out if they didn't get to play for a day. So that is it for Sword of Justice. And I gotta admit, I have mixed feelings about the game. While the groundwork felt good and it somehow felt like a game that could come close to Age of Wushu, it is missing the key sandbox elements that made Age of Wushu special, like the school system and the cultivation system. And if I'm not completely wrong about the monetization system, they are making some bad decisions. Beyond that, I didn't really like the combat. Unfortunately, it looks good, but it doesn't feel as good as it looks. But overall, I didn't lose hope in NetEase, because I'm still really looking forward to Where Winds Meet, which is coming very soon, and I'm going to make a video about this very soon. But what do you think of Sword of Justice? Have you played the beta already, and can you confirm what I said? Or do you have a completely different opinion? Are you more hyped about this game or about Where Winds Meet? Because these are basically the 2 major wuxia games coming to global. Please share your thoughts in the comment section below. I always try to answer to all the comments, and I really love constructive discussions. And even though I'm doing another Where Winds Meet video very soon, where I give you all the stuff that you need to know before you go into the game, but I already made a video on Where Winds Meet with all the information about the MMO mode of the game. So if you want to check out this video, you can just click here. It's a good one. I put a lot of work into it. And if you don't find the time for that, thank you for watching this video. Have a great day and see you soon. Bye bye.